So you have the power within yourselves to get yourself out of any situation if you just listen. Stop digging a hole for yourself. And the greater picture of what we are here to do, not just get ourselves out of situations, but more than that, to help ourselves visualize the world that we want. What do you want? What do you want to see? You want to see peace and democracy and all those other things? Well, I'll tell you what Gandhi said. A few weeks before he was assassinated, he had a conversation with his grandson. And he handed Arun a talisman on which was engraved 7 blunders, out of which, Gandhi said, grows the violence and the plagues of the world. And these blunders were wealth without work, pleasure without conscience, knowledge without character, commerce without morality, science without humanity, worship without sacrifice, and politics without principles. Gandhi called these misbalances passive violence, which fuels the active violence of crime, rebellion, and war. He said, we could work till doomsday to achieve peace and would get nowhere as long as we ignore passive violence in our world. To his grandfather's list of 7 blunders, Arun later added an 8th, rights without responsibilities. Don't for one minute think that divine justice is not taking place. Do not think for one moment that O.J. Simpson's conviction 13 years to the day after he was acquitted in California, he gets sentenced. It's not a coincidence that we prayed for MacDill Air Force Base to ferret out espionage, and ironically 2 cases unrelated on the same day are filed in federal court. We are always told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it in order to affect and make a difference in this world, and it has changed. Now let's talk about Kaylee Anthony for a minute. I would like to say to you all, understandably, you are extremely emotionally involved with this, as we all are, another child. And I have asked my teachers several years ago, how many more? And the answer was, as many master teachers as it takes to come in and change the perception and the energy. They're all master teachers, you do know that. These children are master teachers. Every child that is born is a master teacher. You were born a master teacher. That's why I celebrate and I sing about the Christ child, because we are all the Christ child. All of you. And if you have not succeeded in your hopes and your dreams for your life, the fault lies within you yourself. You didn't want to make the sacrifice. You didn't want to push the send button. You're immobilized by fear of what's going to happen. Are you afraid of your success or your failure? I know I never wanted to be successful. I didn't want to be Sylvia Brown. I didn't want to go on TV. I didn't want to travel around the world. I wanted to be right here in good old wonderful Tampa, Florida, and do my work and love my family and my friends and do my part. And all of you have a special part to play in all that's going on, and don't think for a minute that you don't. You know deep inside you that you have a calling. And I am inspired by the human will, not just in the United States, but the human will that no matter what adversity comes to us, we have a choice. Are you going to sit there and cry and whimper about it? Or are you going to make yourself into a viable, living, breathing human being because your body broke down? Nothing wrong with your brain or your soul. Look at all the athletes, the veterans who are coming back from the war. I mean, this necessity for us to find ways to make the body continue when the brain and the soul within the body is still healthy and viable. Look at all the stories, the Iron Man stories, the people that try out for the Olympics, even to the mothers in China who all they want is untainted formula for their children and quality health care that should be available and affordable to everyone. This country was founded on that. And what happens? Corruption, greed, avarice. Oh yeah, let's just sell Obama's, Senate seat. Going to the highest bidder, And you wonder why that all of this stuff, all of a sudden, it seems that we pray and we pray and we pray, and instead of things getting better, they get worse. Aren't we ferreting out the darkness? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Shining the light so they can be exposed? All these people that walk around pious and holier than thou, especially the preachers and some other non-to-be-mentioned evangelical churches, when the pastor goes down, he blames it on the congregation because you people didn't pray hard enough. What's wrong with you? That's the way they twist it to make it fit for their convenience. It was your fault that he went astray. It's your fault that all the priests, spend all the money and have all these women and all this stuff that's coming out into the open. We asked for it, Toyota. You prayed for it. And so all this music and energy and the praying that we are doing is about integrity and doing the right thing. Being who you came in to be. Little random acts of kindness. And I never give up. I'm not going to give up. I don't care what they tell me. But I've learned one thing. I got to have a blend of allopathic and homeopathic. Because if I wasn't getting that Stanstatin shot every month, I would not be here. And I tried it. 6 weeks, cold turkey, went nothing but alternative. You name it, I did it. And ended up back in the hospital. My doctor was not too happy with me. But I could not heal the underlying problem without the emotional work. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the emotional work as you're doing your emotional work. But I want you to hold within your heart truth, and when something happens and you bounce out of your toaster about, oh, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen, divine right order. And there is a book, Greg Braden's The Lost Mode of Prayer. Read it. Breathe it in. Become it. You want peace in this world? Then be peace yourself. Now put your feet flat on the floor and please take out your love offering. Harmony is a discretionary, at your discretion and your generosity are we able to continue. We're not outside funded. As a matter of fact, we give our share to the foundation and to as many local charities as we possibly can. And I just want to say thank you for choosing Harmony as your spiritual home, and the great appreciation, and to help us continue to keep these doors open. But your show of gratitude, as Dr. Rice would say, this is a love offering. You share what you receive from it. And I am not the church police. So you do, what you do is between you and God. And we bless it and we thank it for all of the blessings. Make sure all cell phones